David's chapbook is our first completely sold out chapbook, so unfortunately you're going to have to appreciate it in this ephemeral moment until we get reprint it. Let's see. Will. We met Will, as I mentioned, not just before Garrett's workshop. I think it was in Elaine Kahn's workshop. Yeah. So we've been running these workshops over the years, and it's a great way to meet new people and hear new work. And every now and then you hear work that really catches your ear. And Will's also just like the sweetest, nicest guy. So time went on. We saw more of these poems because must have been 3.5, 4 years ago that first thing happened. And all those poems that we kept seeing over as the years kind of unfolded were poems out of this series. And so when the time became right, it just seemed natural. And I could say what I think about him or what the press thinks about him, but we have a blurb from Kathy Park Hong and amongst others, but she puts it, as she often does, better than almost anyone else. So I'm just going to say that. Will Vincent's Wildfires is both an incandescent love letter and Molotov cocktail to California. His poetry is a slow-burning Anthropocene modernist epic packed with uncanny prefab nostalgia foisted upon evacuated shrubland. While the landscape is contemporary, Vincent's obsession is entirely timeless as he questions whether or not evil is innate. Will Vincent is a glorious new talent. Will Vincent.
Thank you all for coming. Thanks to Spec for putting this all together. It's a beautiful book. You should buy it. So I was gonna talk about where these came from, but I'll just say like a little bit that I'm kind of mining a book on fire ecology in California's ecosystems. It's also just kind of about living in California, growing up in California at the edge of Empire, where Empire goes to die in the sea. This is Wildfire I. Well north of Toontown and Judge Doom, our Benny, the cab, sips its highball of gasoline. Rayleigh Oyler strokes himself while he watches the mountain burn, clears smoke from his throat. The sound describes courtroom light. He sucks, exhales, and nods to the man on the outside who can click the Fibonacci series. He requests sand for his final meal. Well north of Toontown, the sky over the highway is white with heat. I go in for chips. 4 teens blare third wave ska. Behind the counter they are blonde and darkened from riding dune buggies, murdered O'Hara into the postcard darkness, and the music ignites the fear in me. The teens want also to find whatever is past the fear, which is dense fumes overlapping licking creeks between parked cars in Marina del Rey. My letter to the teens is stamped with wax and gives +2 charisma. Juiced up Thumper flees the blaze, running from his wife toward who can know. Between the animal laughter and Disney's flashing glyphs, the bunny chides. He doesn't walk very good, does he? Gamblers and winos cough whips from the reaching sun. I came also from the seed, face stained with dirt, bags under my eyes. In night terrors, my mother became a witch, commanded me to herd sheep, faster, faster, into castle and out of field. Middle finger to the tourists from the tallest jump at the tracks, but I also always say I'm never that. I jump off the shed. One of the gas station boys winks at me and they all laugh, but I forget to join in, and again it is the fear. Same threat gumming up everything naughty and useful. The one running the register laughs, apologizes. They will jump into the river at the dam, where a kid died doing the same 7 years ago. The fire is everywhere and makes me sneeze. Chit-chat about the weather are the most profound conversations. Our backyard sycamore, 3-pronged like a devil's scepter. In its shadow, my father soaks a leaf pile in kerosene and lights the mini wheat's box top. Teens loom in the branches, kiss under infesting mistletoe. Rain barely covers the dust. Snow falls gently on Yucca, where a girl from my high school hung herself with her dog's leash, but of course was born with canyons of the fear. Teens yell and corral children into the sunscreen line. They try to forget what they saw. Rayleigh Oyler rubber bands matchsticks together, soaks a rag in paraffin. Embers blacken and crawl. No whip of seething fire is the same. I sit by the glass door, looking out at acres of butterhead lettuce. Motes rise into infernal sunlight while teen death repeats inside me. How the bad thing resolves itself as if automated. Shopping cart shoved off the cliff into punishing rocks. Waterlogged planks kicked in half in creek beds. One locates the smoothest stone. My father and I with our own little bomb. Clouds of flame. Towers of meals collapse. Miles of cow collapse. And the universe dips towards its suns. This next one makes reference to the talking tree from Lord of the Rings, known as Treebeard. Also the name of my science teacher in middle school. Thanks to my principal, my whole half my middle school is here. It's very weird. It's good to see a lot of worlds colliding here today. Thanks again, David, Kip, and Garrett, for reading with me. Love their work. Should buy their books. Okay. Wildfire 2. Treebeard says, draw the flame. Note how the wick bends to flash at the dome wall. Smoke rises like Pauly Shore into fame upon extinguish. Stinks of Stephen Baldwin's dreads. Wick in heat consumes solid fuel. Ascends as liquid through narrow chamber against gravity people say is killing them. In fewer words, how Earth's mass, by virtue of comparative size, pulls your flesh into its soil for covert Farmar Society's apple tree graphs. Sandra Bullock pushes the blade in and in, 1 millimeter a year. Astronauts show you the secret to their eternal youth, blow water bubbles around in 0G. Wind throws the flame into inky space, and the flame retreats, holds. Bieber moves through gusts in knee-length hoodie, wakes pools, skips knolls in remote Iceland, swims, so cold, in waterfalls alone. You will never experience vacation, Justin. You will never press your lips to rock salt, nor pluck out an exuberant cheeseburgers in paradise on your ukulele. Bieber pumps like a steam engine piston between lame and cool, powers the train hand-painted on the lunchbox, adorned with jewels, talking cars, and princesses in flying V. Cold sun gathers between surfaces on my magnifying glass. I collect its light on a healthy leaf, burn it orange-haired nominee in orange skin in Orange County, and orange you glad there is at least fire and violence. In closed space, the plants should sustain the flame. Wick limits extinguish at exposed length. Candle wax from alkane, from lacking affinity, from petrol, coal, oil shale, and fatty acid dropped on a sugar cube to my tongue, so everyone living on Martha's Vineyard can become a wolf, and we can crash the 2-year sober party, amble off to lie cupped in weeping beech trees, smoothed out by Atlantic sand, as rave green leaves shimmer in wrathful light. I drip hot gobs of wax on Father Internet's translucent chest. It dunes up with goosebumps. His joy shrieks echo through the abandoned bomb shelter, where metalheads talk about who they hate, and the arsonist is born. And this is the third one. I'll jump around after this. I'm not going to go through all these. I start from lightning. A less dramatic truth. Underburn the shrublands, command Smokey to stir the ash. He says it's Friday and you don't have shit to do, so I gorge on 10,000 drought-killed pines and bolt screaming down Sonora Pass, which elicits only golf claps from Billy Crystal and the gang, who fear Gog when he's sleepy and slip on the headsets to lie supine while 4 dimensions of middle schoolers' speed-sick dreams flow brain to groin. City slickers dance around the desert fire, trade hits off what the burglar from Home Alone 2 is calling poison. He says there are some things you just can't steal, like Macaulay Culkin's heart. The marshal considers dynamiting the block to save the campus. Santa Ana winds lubricate my spree. The beer can pops in the fire, douses Clayton in glowing coals. He doesn't even move on account of the brain surgery and subsequent fights. I singe the wind chimes, melt its flutes, they fall, hardened as daggers and rivulets. Alight, I peek through green glass bottles wedged in cob walls. I feed on death commas, flea-bane daisies, flood blue canyon as day's cruel imposter. I feed on goat's beards, woolly pods, milk vetch, spleen wart. Burning sage is the gateway drug to weed. But really I'm furtive in the tidal marsh. Suppressed by sea breeze, I'm small and the wildflowers need me. The great egret rises like an elegant helicopter to pound its wings on the door. I sprint the dark corridors of the pickleweed forest, only fly when forced. I flap, clear my wings of swamp before I'm swallowed, blinked out in the needle beak, until I hear only the muffled sound of Clayton noodling over ceaseless acoustic guitar and winning, if only in folds. This is a really short one called Beach Fire. I list the boys Parseval killed or will. My clone winces from the rocks. I follow their tracks. Oceans pool in each impression before me. This is sort of about being a kid and having my parents let me run around Vegas, casinos and arcades, taking that in. Wildfire I-XVI. Another drops from the trapeze with soundless Olympian splash. The marquee appears to scroll but is just bulbs, flashing orange then off. Because my brain is fattened from Vegas buffets, I stare longingly. Or is it actually profound? I am 7. My brother and I swim up to the bar before we're quickly banned, so we run in shorts wet past the opal pyramid's guards to look down the balcony's cream-colored light onto double-decker arcades, Red Lobsters, Chili's, jewelry stores, and multi-clang slot cathedrals, jiggered for neon and gallery floor TVs. Before movement, there was movement, the Urfish. Treasure Island's ship sinks on the hour in its own tiny sea. Actors in rags fall to cannon blast, cry out. Spinning and non-universal through fogged shower glass, we fuse with mirages as if beaming from a projector blasted over the dark orb. My brother with his camcorder zooms in-out on our own hotel's plasma. Teletubbies flickers because the camera doesn't autocorrect 30 frames per second like the eye. I look for us in home videos strangers posted to the web of Disneyland. Quick cuts and hopeful soundtracks. Everyone in rain jackets despite relentless heat. Huge backpacks, purple castle, Anaheim sky occluded by fireworks smoke. Victory, beef jerky, snack break. Rides toil on shrieking rails, pistons, beliefs, and holograms. Plaster cracks off the Matterhorn cave ceiling, falls on the outmoded Yeti's plastic ice. A sax player solos for no change, bougainvillea lulled to beige. The tree order is borrowed from coffee table books on long English gardens, perimeter of the pond, crowded with koi. Donald Duck takes off his massive head and chucks an orange at the monorail. Lost in the temporary Toy Story exhibit, I scream for anything but huge foam army men. Feet cemented to flat bases. I shove at the crowd as a stage technician falls 60 feet from the catwalk. Winnie the Pooh strikes a little girl. Like a mouse, I pray to the rodent god, far from crayfish and frogs. Raccoons in the park's storm drains eat mostly rats, live on where other carnivores surely cannot. Past Buzz Lightyear's fearless gaze to the Astro Orbiter meetup, where stranger children float into the small world filled with glee. And then I'm going to read a newer one. This one's rough, but it's okay, I'm going to read it. It's called Then There. Where's that damn shoe? Into the brambles beyond the outlet lots, he's chucked it, my son, my fake son, the clone. So I stumble down to where the river ravages sweetly. Little heavens bloom in its filaments, mistborn rainbows. Gatorade green, the river swallows each of my perfect skipping stones. My flattened and manufactured by river and time, smoothed by minerals in the tumbling with a plunk each is eaten. In the fast and angry ravager, it is too interminable, too infinitely folding, way too grotesque for my little round rocks. I've wandered downhill for my maybe fictional son's lost shoe, past pine-banked pine-spiked embankment that jagged in the parking lot sky, spotted with pink and white and purple spots. The sun follows the law past the bent horizon to the creek where the little lost gnomes dwell, and hang from gardens they rioted skyward. Inside the steep hill, a truck swallowed by mud still blinks. Bushes and scribbled twigs ravaged by bags, paper. There's a devilish nuance to it. I worry that just beyond is the geodesic wall. Even our false earth is polluted. Roadrunner blood on the infinite superglass, a swarm with flies. Wily engineers come with a wrench to make me see stars. Either that or gnomes in skunk fur cave-born from rebar cities. River-eaten cement, little slapdash homes, trash sweetly repurposed, the rubble jewelries of light in gummy bear-hued oil puddles, crawdads, stream tributaries. In sour licorice buckets, I catch the small, clawless lobsters, insects of the river of the sea. It's that or regimented soccer with father's open, blistering rage. Weird youth now, ATV teens, know the farm and troll politics. Threaten girls with hacker schemes. Stupidly, awkwardly, I'll fail again, desperate to impose utopia. Mirages of my past and future self in the teenage gnomes' red cheeks, smudged with clay, warmed and breathing onto their hands. Under the bat wings of their stinky, brindled cloaks, there are even guidance counselors among them who cannot stop grinning, or promising a life. It must be fate. Rubber band balls on their desks, inspirational William Blake posters drug me cold. Gnomes with syringe daggers, chopstick pole staffs, who roast rats and ride cats, escape from lawns, breach white picket fences, tumble down the embankment, teddy bears from smashed claw machines, their soft bodies fall. Wreathed in jacarandas and jasmine chunks of fresh soil fall from the roots, beards white with stress, they climb from river to egg. Really, I'm in the cafe, distanced from the gnomes' magic, feeling competitive with graduate students in their conversations, their difficult hardbound books, little worn anthologies of Brecht's middle period plays. They should heartwarm me, but they are children chiding from the limits of my cage. In the Walmart River, my fictional son swims among gnomes, bobbing in Coke can rafts. Never mind, the teen self says to the tween self, the skies indeed looks afire. A weepy gnomish teen questions his Rust Belt youth. Jangling with yogurt medallions, they build a little church of stolen wind chimes. Oldest dons a necklace of pigeon bones. The public amusement park has been realized. Behind glass, beneath the ice rink, there is a mini golf course, a castle of ice cream. The train is coming like the halls of death with its big yellow eyes. Plastered and peeling, the barber softens his touch, takes your ear clean off, makes bleed the impenetrable boy. Where's that damn shoe? It's hard to keep a lid on it. Something is meticulously formatting the air. The wind giggles through me. I am too old for this. And then last poem, I'm just going to read the last one in this book, Wildfire I-XVI. Even when it rains, it burns. Headline, Be Like God. Our enemies found and torched the library first. It was never documented. Burning is on the mend. The lions are skinny in their tanks. All the world wars were planned out, and the tactician presidents reckless with thick and skinny war books, salaries. I buy my own kids' guides to their war games. No stopping the battletoads. One likes to moan Kim Jong-un's name. Mid-lecture, smoke light through dim orange and angles from window to brick wall. Everywhere it's basketballs. Seasons and wind tell their old story of evacuations. Containment refers to the length of the trench. I catch crawdads with an old licorice bucket. Practice backflips on my trampoline instead of playing AYSO soccer. The brick and mortars only have staying power if they can remain expensive and cute. I am halfway a part of the conspiracy, half not. Something in the coughing, like demons' sick laughter. Something in the serifs. Hey, you think you're writing angelic because in that typeface? Helvetica, the punk font. Walker Evans, photographs of trash up at the SF MoMA. Munch paints himself in hell and despair. Paints his own starry night blurrier. Sans panache, all glum and cool. Noguchi cast playground models in iron, filled with cliffs, chasing new cliffs and angles. They're all panned and banned by the city planners. Oh, small pink journal with unicorn embossed lettering, I believe. Pacific Gas and Electric is all you need to say, really. Villain game. One of my students prefers Yu-Gi-Oh cards to their digital forms. Little zines with crude drawings of what teens are up to on their phones. Is that what we're selling now? Not enough to be funny, not enough to be paint. The right rises quickly even in the hearts of some of my friends. The base logic creeps in, the evils of not bothering to try to know. I am clear, but like the water on a lake painting, reflecting sky and pines, divided by the first boat. Cold logs crackling in my father's wood splitter, all gasoline and Gatling sound. Ice in the creeks, little expressions of geometry, oil screaming its visage of the end, but it knows only that visual language. Its rainbows blur, mid and Mr. October. Kid I went to college with is filling party balloons with water. School closed on account of smoke. Containment is the trench length. Thank you.
Thanks, Will. Thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks, David. Thanks, Garrett. A lot of fun. Reading's over, but we still have some wine. There's still some time, I understand, before the Warriors game. So feel free to hang out and, you know, maybe buy a book, but more importantly, just like have a good time. Thank you.